Good morning, everyone. It's Lynn Dunn from Stamptastic Designs. So I thought I would come on live today instead of uploading a video for you. And that's because I wanted to share some card ideas that I created using this month's Paper Pumpkin Kit. So I thought it would just be a lot easier to come on live and just kind of walk you through how to put together the boxes for the kit and then just share some cards that I created using some of the supplies from the kit and then of course using some of my own supplies. So I thought I'd do something a little bit different today. And I know I'm coming on a little bit early. Usually I come on about 8 o'clock, but we have a little bit of construction going on here around my house. So I thought I would come on early and try to beat all the noise. All right, so I have some cards here that I'm going to show you how to make. And I'm going to be using some craft ink, some white, it's like a white craft ink. So I'll show you how to use that. But then I got some other cards that I created using just some of the supplies from the kit. So good morning, everybody. So this is what we are talking about today. We are talking about the Spooky Treats Paper Pumpkin Kit. So it just had a variety of adorable little treat boxes that you could make. So I made the majority of these. I actually got two kits this month, one for my granddaughter and one for myself. So we made a bunch of these little boxes already, but I do have just a couple left that I'll show you how to put these together. And then I'll show you how to make these cards. So good morning, everybody. All right, so let's put these to the side. And I'm going to first show you the stamp set. So this is the stamp set that came in this month's Paper Pumpkin Kit. So I use this stamp set to create a variety of different cards. So not only can you use it to create your treat boxes, but you can also use it to create a variety of different cards. All right. So I hope you guys can hear me okay. I know I see there's some people on. Oh, there we go. Okay. All right. So first let's talk about the treat boxes. So I know they've been a little bit confusing for people. So hopefully I can help help make this a little bit less confusing. So this is what the treat box looked like when it came in the kit. And so basically what you have to do is you have to fold on all these score lines. But the interesting thing about this kit is this is your, or this box is this is your side panel here. So this piece is going to come down and it's going to, this little flap is going to just rest inside the box. So when you fold your edges, you just want to fold this down and fold this back. And if you don't fold it properly, it's okay. You can still put it together. So don't worry about if you fold it properly or not. It just makes it a little bit easier if you kind of fan this out as you're putting it together. So you fold in here and then you fold it back. And then you take this little score line and you fold it in, and then you fold this little flap back because this is going to sit like this inside your box. So I'm just going to fold all these and we'll fold this one in, and then we'll fold that one, and then we'll fold this one back. So that's kind of how your box will look. And then basically what you're going to do is you're going to take these pieces. So I'm just going to fold this back a little bit. These little flaps here is what's going to hold your box together. So I started on this side and I just held these pieces in and took this flap and folded it over those little side pieces here. Okay. And then you take these other pieces and just fold them down. Just keep this flap out. So you can see I'm just folding those little flaps here to the inside of the box like that. And then these last two flaps get held into place with this big piece. This big piece just comes in and there's a little notch in here to connect it. So that's what makes the box. So that's how you make the box. And there's 18 of them in the kit. And then of course there's like a little belly band, I guess you'd call it, that goes around this box. So I already decorated mine just for sake of time. But the kit shows you how to decorate your little belly bands, I guess is what you call them. So I ran out of that the paper that came in. Mine looks a little bit different. Um, there's like these little bats. I actually use those little bats on the card. So I just used a little piece of scrap that I had to decorate mine. But anyways, so you're basically just gonna peel this off. I put this on, this little piece of tape, and you're just going to wrap this around the box. This is the front of the treat box, and it's got these little notches in the side that'll pull out. So you're just gonna wrap this around the box, and then you're gonna bring this piece over and just attach it. And so you have this really cute little treat box. And then you can fill it with all kinds of fun little treats for Halloween. So that's what the box looks like. So I hope that helped everybody. I thought they were really cute, and my granddaughter just had a blast with all these boxes. So, all right. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a couple of Halloween cards that I put together because I did take apart some of the treat boxes. So in this particular kit, you can see that there's a treat box here that has this spider web around it. So I just cut that spider web part out to create this particular card. So let me find all my supplies here. So good morning. Good morning, everybody. Okay. So what I did is I just added some of my own supplies. So I'm just using some black cardstock for the base of my card. And then I cut apart the treat boxes so that I could create this little focal point for my card. So basically, when you cut this apart, this ends up to be around 2 3/4 by 3 inches is roughly what I cut this to. And then I just actually cut up one of the other treat boxes, the orange treat boxes, so that I could put this piece behind it. So that's what I'm going to do first is I'm just going to adhere this. Now you don't have to cut up the treat boxes if, you don't have to cut up the orange treat boxes if you don't want to. But I just decided that I was gonna, since I'm cutting everything else apart, I might as well just use the paper that was in the kit. So I cut that and just added that piece behind. And then I just cut a piece of um, this is just some yellow cardstock, some crushed curry that I added. And so I just cut this a little bit bigger than this piece. So this is 3 by 3 1/4 inches. So I'll add this. And so that's kind of how I created my little focal point there. All right, so then the next thing I did is this was actually one of the, I'll show you, this was one of the pieces from the paper pumpkin kit. So this is one of those flaps that goes around the box. So that's one of your belly bands that I used. So I just cut it apart and used it kind of as designer paper for my cards. So these are just 2 3/4 inches long, and it's about an inch wide. So what I did is I just adhered these to each side of the card. Now you might notice on my original card here, the pieces are a little bit angled. So that's just that flap. I used the flap here, this angled flap from the box. So that's why those are a little bit angled on the side. So kind of fun. Just a fun way to use up some of these supplies. If you didn't want to make all the treat boxes, this is a way to do it. If you do want to make all the treat boxes, you can still use this design. You can just use some designer paper that you might have on hand. So, all right, so that's how I did that. I just added it to each side. And then I just took a scrap piece of vellum that I had, which is about 2¼ inches long. And I just adhered this to the top part of my little focal point. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And I probably could cut this down, but that's okay. So I'm just going to add that little piece up on the top. And then I'm going to go ahead and add this in the center. I'll add a little bit of glue under there. So it makes a really cute little card. Okay, and then the last thing I did is I just stamped this little greeting on a 1/2 inch wide by 4¼ inch piece of the fresh freesia cardstock. So I used some of my own supplies to do this. So I'll just add this right across the bottom. And like I said, if you don't have the paper pumpkin kit, you can certainly use these layouts with any supplies that you have on hand. So instead of creating this spider web focal point, you can create something else. So don't get too caught up in, the paper pumpkin kit itself. So there's lots of different ways that you can use these layouts. So I just have this little extra spider from the kit. So I'll add that. And then the last thing is just to add a couple of stars. So the kit came with these little black star shapes. So you can just add those to embellish the card. And that's it. So fun little card idea. So that's what it looks like when it's complete. All right. Hello, hello. Okay, so we'll put that one to the side. And then I'm going to show you one more with the spider web. I seem to like that one when I was creating. So this next one, I did kind of the same thing with the focal point. Actually, let's move this out of the way. Let's put that focal point together first. So I did the same thing. I just kind of cut my little spider web. So it was about 2¾ by 3. So I cut this right off the front of that box piece. And then I adhered it to a piece of the pumpkin pie, one of the pumpkin pie boxes. So you just need a piece big enough to go behind here. And then this time I adhered it to a piece of black cardstock instead of the yellow. So the black cardstock is 3 by 3¼ So that's my focal point. So put that to the side. And then I cut some additional pieces. So I had a couple little scraps of this treat box that looks like designer paper. So I just cut these to a 1/2 inch, 1/2 inch by 3 is what they are. And then I adhered them to some black cardstock. So the black cardstock is 3/4 inches wide here, and then it's 3¼ inches long. So I just kind of created like a little panel card. So again, you can do this with any pattern paper that you have on hand. And you don't have to create Halloween cards either. So we will put these on here. So now we have our little panels created. So I'll bring the card base back so you can see. Yeah, I know I came on live. I was a surprise. Surprise, I'm live. Sorry, guys. I just at the last minute decided to do a live instead of a recorded video. So, all right. So the next thing I did is I cut a 3¾ So this is 3¾ by 5 inch piece of this fresh freesia cardstock. and that's kind of my background. And then I just took these little focal points that I created and I just adhered them right to that piece. So I like to kind of lay out my pieces first so I kind of know where they go. And then I go ahead and I adhere them. So I like these little panel cards because you can do a lot with them. And then, when you mat them out with a little bit of cardstock, like I matted those pieces out with this black cardstock, it just kind of gives it a really cool look. So we'll add this last panel. And I will get all of the measurements and everything out on my blog for you guys today so that you have all the card layout measurements. So then I just used some of the pieces from the kit. So this was one of the pieces from the kit. And I just added the little greeting right across this piece. And then we'll pop that up. And let's add our spider first. So the spider came from the kit, like I said. But, if you don't have the spider web or the spider, you can create a different focal point there. You don't need the spider or the spider web. So just kind of look at the layout versus the supplies, if that makes sense. And then we'll add our little greeting. And then, of course, we can add some stars. So it's just a cool little Halloween card, just another fun way to use the kit. So if you haven't used all of your supplies from the kit to create the treat boxes, then you can use some of them to create a couple of Halloween cards. All right, so that is the second card idea. Pretty cute. All right, so we'll put that to the side. Now I'm going to show you some fun things to do with the stamp itself. So for this card, I actually did all my stamping using some craft ink, some white craft ink. So this is the ink that I'm using. And all you need is some black cardstock. And if you have the kit, you can use the little ghost here. I used one of the ghost images that came in the kit. But if you don't have the image, or I'm sorry, if you don't have any ghost images left because you used them on your treat boxes, you can still use the ghost image that came in the set. Okay. So I just am using I'm going to show you a little trick. So I'm just using some fresh Freesia ink and I'm just going to stamp it on a scrap piece of white cardstock. So you can see that the ghost is kind of outlined with that purple color, that fresh Freesia color. And then you can take you can use any marker. I'm just going to use my stamping blend, but I'm going to try to make him look kind of like what came in the kit. So you can just add some black. So this is the dark shade of black, Stampin' Blend. But if you have a Stampin' Write marker, that'll work too. So you just kind of try to trace the eyes as best you can. And then we'll add some black to the mouth. Oh, I made my mouth a little big, but that's okay. There we go. So now you have something very similar to what came in the kit. So then you can cut this out by hand and then you can add it right to your card front. So I just wanted to show you that you can recreate this little ghost that came in the kit. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my black cardstock. I just have to flatten it a little bit. See if we can get a little flatter. So this is just my card base itself. And I need just a scrap piece of paper underneath. Let's see if I can get this in view here. Oh, my light is very bright today. Okay, and so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that ghost, this ghost image. Let's move this out of the way so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to take this ghost image and I'm just going to ink it up. Oh, well, I just inked it up with purple on there. And I'm just going to stamp the white onto my, I got to clean this off. Hang on a second. That's what happens when you're not paying attention. All right, so let's try this again. So now I'm going to ink this and just stamp it. So this is craft ink. It's white craft ink. And I just kind of went around the whole entire card and just stamped the ghost just in a variety of different ways. So I kind of, went back and forth to stamp it. Whoop. You just fit it in wherever you can fit it in. So we'll add one here. So basically you're just covering the whole entire piece of cardstock. Let's see, well, that one's tilted that way. We'll tilt it this way. And we'll do this, and we'll add one more. Okay, so that's basically what I did. I just stamped it in the background to create this fun little ghost background. So I'm just going to give this a second to dry. And so while I'm doing that, I'm going to show you the other one because I did the same thing with this one, except for this time I used the bats instead of the ghost. So I'm going to just stamp this so that it dries while we're doing this live. So for this one, I just used the bat image that was in the kit and did the same thing. Took the white craft ink and just kind of went around the outside of my card. So we'll go down first. And I just kind of went, back and forth to just kind of create a little design. So we'll just stamp this. So I love how the white craft ink looks on this black cardstock. It's kind of fun. And let's see, where can we squeeze this one in? We'll squeeze that one in there. And I'll put this one up at the top. Okay, so that's all I did is just kind of stamped all the way around with that white craft ink just to create that little background. So we'll give this one a chance to dry. It usually dries pretty quick compared to our old craft ink. All right, so let's bring our ghost back and we'll finish this card. So this card is very simple. All it requires is a ghost and a greeting. That's it. So I tried to find, a ghost that was kind of in the center so that I could add my Happy Halloween right here off to the side. So I'm going to add that. Now, if you have a smudged ghost like I do, I have a couple smudged ghosts. Ghosts aren't perfect though. So we'll put this right over the top of one of the ghosts like that. And then we can add a couple little dimensionals to our greeting. So I'm just going to do that quick. So we'll add a couple dimensionals. Hopefully I added this to the right side. I think I added it to the wrong side. Let's take this one off. And we'll put it on this side. There we go. So make sure you add your dimensionals to the correct side. So part of this greeting is just going to hang over onto the ghost. So we will add this right about here. And that's really all it is. So you're just adding your greeting and a ghost. So it's just kind of like a pop of color that you're adding by adding that purple ghost. And then you have just a fun background that you stamped with the white um, craft ink. So I'm trying to tilt it a little bit so you guys can see it. There we go. Okay, so that is a super simple one, and it's a great way to use that stamp set that comes in the kit. All right, so let's bring this one back. So we already stamped the bats. I used that white craft ink just to stamp the little bat image that came in the kit all the way around. And now I just added some of my own supplies. So, and some of the supplies from the kit. So the first thing I added, I just had some scrap. Oh, what is this? This is that specialty vellum. So I just cut a 2 by 3 inch piece. I had some scraps laying around, and I thought the one with the white writing worked perfect on the black cardstock. So I just added that in the center. That's 2 by 3. And then there's this piece from the kit. So what I did is basically just adhered it behind here, except for you can see that it is longer on this card than it is right now. So all I did was just cut it in half because I wanted a bigger piece. So I just cut that in half, and then I just adhered it to each side. So we will adhere this to each side of this little circle shape. Now this circle shape came from the kit. So I think that looks about right. So now it just gives you a bigger piece without having to use 2 pieces from the kit. It just gives you a bigger piece to go across your card front. And then I just cut a 2 inch circle shape. And so this is just going to get adhered to that 2 inch circle shape. So I just used the fresh Freesia cardstock, since those were the colors in the kit. So we'll just add that. And then we'll go ahead and add this. And that'll cover up my glue spot in the center. So there you go. So we'll let this adhere. And then the last thing I did is just used up some of the pieces from the kit. So I just used my little greeting and then that yellow piece that came in the kit. So we'll add that. And that I popped up with a couple dimensionals. Now, if you don't have any of these pieces left from the kit, you can still use fresh Freesia cardstock to create your little Halloween sentiment, and then you can use, the crushed curry um, cardstock to create your background piece. So that's that, and then I just decorated it with a couple stars. So let's see if I can grab some here. I have a lot of extra stars, despite the fact that my granddaughter used a ton when she was making her treat boxes. I still have a lot of stars. Okay, so there we go. So that is the next card. So that's the fourth card. Just cute, just a fun way to use the stamp set that comes in the kit. So, all right, so I'm going to put these to the side, and I'm going to show you just a couple other ideas. I made a total of 8 different cards. using the stamp set. So this one might look familiar to you. Does this design look familiar? I just showed you guys this design for using up strips of paper. So I made a couple of different cards using this design. I used the apple harvest. I used the birthday piggy. Recently, I used the trimming the tree stamp set to create this design. And now I'm using the paper pumpkin. So it just turned out really super cute. And it was a great way to use up those scraps. And then this is another design that I created. So I just used up some of the scrap pieces from the boxes. This little scallop circle came in the kit, so I just made that the focal point. And then I just stamped the little bats kind of, on a diagonal to create that particular card. So it's very simple. Added some torn paper in there. So this piece is 3/4 inches wide by 4. And then you just add some torn paper behind it. And then here's another pretty simple design. So I just used up some of those little bat pieces. They're only real thin pieces. So I put one on the top, one on the bottom, and then just added a little focal point in the center. So just kind of cute, something different. And then this last card idea is just a fun way to use up scraps. And so I used a bunch of different scraps here and then stamped some of the images from the stamp set onto this, some of the pieces, some of the scrap pieces. So they're really fun little cards. Let's see if I can get them all back on screen for you so you can see them all. Whoop, here we go. So we got these two, which were created from the craft ink. And then we have these. Oh, well, you kind of can see them all. Not really, but kind of. So there you go. So I hope you guys enjoyed these card ideas. I had a lot of fun putting the kit together with my granddaughter. She's all excited. She's 6 years old. I think I shared a picture with you guys. But she's 6 years old and she's so excited to take those to school and share them with her friends. So she did all the little treat boxes. We did those together. And then I took the remaining supplies because, like I said, I had two kits. So I took the remaining supplies just to create some different card ideas and give you guys some different ways that you can use the kit to create cards. Or if you just want to create the treat boxes, that's fine too. So I hope you guys enjoyed these card ideas. I will get them out on the blog later today. All the measurements will be out there and all the pictures so you guys can recreate them if you would like. So our next paper pumpkin kit is going to be a Christmas kit and it's going to be card related. So if you are interested in paper pumpkin, I did link to it in the description below this video so that you can go out there and check out the next kit. The next kit is called Ho Ho Ho. So that should give you an idea of what to expect. And then that kit, so that is the October kit. So you will have to sign up by October 10th if you want to get in on the kit. Um, so only Paper Pumpkin subscribers can get these kits. So I highly recommend joining. You can always pause your subscription or cancel it at any time. And Stampin' Up! Usually gives us an idea of what is coming up in the next kit. So you can skip a month or you can cancel. It's up to you. All right, you guys. So again, I hope you enjoyed these card ideas. I know I kind of surprised you all coming live today, but I thought it would be easier to go live than to do a recorded video. So have a great rest of your week, and I will see you back here again on Sunday. So take care, everybody.